And
Yeah.
so me, Michael Beach, my connection with my wife um, is for me even more important than my connection to my kids.
Mm,
And I have 8 children, and I'm close to all my children,
yeah.
but it's my wife. It's my wife and I, and
Your brother is in jail.
What?
Why did it take all three of you to come and get me?
That's what family does.
If they ever strap you to the electric chair, we'll all be sitting right there in the front row when they zap you.
Thank you, Grandma. That's very nice.
what's
All
up,
right.
man?
Michael, my guy, how you doing today?
Good. Look at that shirt, baby. Come on now. What?
I appreciate you, brother, as always. And once again, I'm not Jill Chambers. I'm from Big Old Belt Media, and we're back with another project because my man is always working. This time we're talking I'll be right there coming to theater September 6th, and September is already about to be a big month for you. So
Yeah,
let's just
I'm
start
ready.
there, man. I know that we've been watching you on our screens for years and years and years, and you just continue to get better, much like wine, man. You know,
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
with time it gets better. Uh, for you, man, just because I know every time we talk, we kind of talk on a spiritual level here. So just when you talk about what keeps you going to this point today, what do you attest that to?
Happiness, man. I really, really like what I'm doing. I mean, I enjoy outside of the business, I'm not a business guy, but as a craftsman, to be able the joy to be able to get to do what I do for 40 years now and still enjoy it and love the people and love the stories and the characters and it's just I'm just so fortunate, dude. So yeah, I'm just enjoying the fact that I still get to do it.
I love that for you, and big fan of yours, and can and want to just continue to see you working 40 more years. And I don't know, man, the math don't math because you like 40 years. I'm like, my brother's only like 45. Like, what you talking about?
I appreciate that, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Oh man, so one thing I always say anytime I review any of your projects is like you take very intentional projects. Like yes, you can do character work, but I think a lot of these characters and roles that you take are always layered. And now we're with Albert, which in a story that has so much relatability for so many different folks, Albert comes in as a character that I truly have the most questions about. First of all, let's start off with this. What does Albert represent in Wanda's life?
That's a good question. I think Wanda, is being, right now she's questioning whether or not how she's mothering her, adult kids, and trust me, I'm there myself. And everybody says, "Why are you doing this for them? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing?" And 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 because of Albert's history with his daughter, I think he is one of the stabilizing forces for her and able to say, you know what, that is, this is what life is.
Yeah.
This is the joy of life, to be connected to our kids, to our mothers, our fathers, or whatever. And why is there supposed to be a time when that's supposed to go away and that's supposed to stop?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think and you know him, one of the great lines is, if my daughter called me right now,
Yeah.
I would drop everything I'm doing. I would leave you in a second and I would be right there. And
Powerful.
that's the, you know, that's what she does. And that's what she's questioning. And he's going, no, that's absolutely what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think that's what he helps her, come to grips with.
Yeah. I said a lot of what I got from this from this film is it's something I continue to practice in my day to day. It's about giving myself grace, but also about the folks around you. And that's what really hit in this film is that when I saw Albert, and obviously I'm like, oh, there's my guy Michael working again. But what I realized that, and again, as I said, you always take very intentional roles, is that this character comes in where there's being so much complexities with so many other characters that he instantly comes in as a safe space for her. He doesn't really over insert himself in terms of what's going on in his life. The quick mention of like, yeah, I hit the gym because, I got recently through a divorce, but he becomes a safe space for her, somebody that, kind of helps her navigate. And it wasn't until the end of the film where some of these very important things about who he was started to come out. But I think that was at a point now where we understood that like the two of them have a lot in common, and there's a lot they probably could discuss that could help the two of them progress. So I'm curious to go back to my initial question. When you first saw Albert, and you kind of was lining yourself up about how you wanted to like really bring this character to life, what were some of the things that really stuck out to you about him?
Well, I thought the one thing, I mean, for me, what I loved about it is I think that he has a lingering crush on
Talk to
Wanda, right?
I sensed that a little.
Right. He's had it all these years, even though he's been married as a kid, he's been divorced and so he sees her again. And I think it's really just about what's so simple because I mean, okay, I'm in my 60s now, right? I've been through a bunch of stuff and this and
Nobody
that.
believes you about the age, by the way, but go ahead.
Well, I appreciate it. But it just now it's just I just reinforced the fact that what are the things that are important? It's so I obviously hopefully I have another 30 years to go, but I think the more and more the older and older you get and the closer and closer to the inevitable death that we move towards,
Yeah.
It really starts to become more and more simple.
Yeah.
That the people we love, the connections, the joy of being able to making sure you wake up
Yeah.
and that you get to experience it again.
Yeah.
And so Michael Beach, my connection with my wife, um, is for me even more important than my connection to my kids. And I have 8 children, and I'm close to all my children.
Yeah.
But it's my wife. It's my wife and I, and obviously raising our kids. I'm not, there's no competition, but
Yeah.
It's just more and more that the value of that above everything else. I love acting. I love what I do. I love these characters, and I don't think I have to stop doing it in order to value my other stuff. But that is not valued over my family.
Yeah.
And I think that's who Albert is, and his thing is through loss.
Yeah.
He has had to experience that because of loss. And so that's one of the things I think that helps Wander see that, wow, I'd much rather be in the situation I'm in and doing the things that I'm doing than not,
Yeah.
than not have that opportunity.
Yeah, the end of this film is so damn powerful, man. Like the moment of like her making a statement about like people think I'm boring because I service my family, and how you counteract that with how the sun has been waiting for you to come outside. Like,
Right,
man, man,
right,
man,
right.
man, man.
Yeah.
I gotta go back to the first interaction. I should say your first introduction in the film, and we gotta give a shout out to Jim, who's the writer of this film, and then Edie, who's just a fantastic actor. But listen, man, I feel like since that moment you went viral, I feel like now people are probably taking these little funny jabs at you about we always gotta talk about my man physique here. So when he comes in with this, he was like, "Little Albert, stick figure Albert, you look like you're wearing body armor." I bust out laughing. Were you aware that was in the script? Was that improv? Like, what was your thoughts about that?
Well, we actually, to be honest with you, we were talking about that and what I would wear, because I put on a lot of weight,
Yeah.
and not good weight, for a
Hmm.
job a little bit before that, and I didn't take it off, So if you look at that film, and you also look at even Mayor of Kingstown. I've got this Netflix movie, TV
Yeah.
series coming out called
The perfect couple.
it's called The Perfect Couple. Thank you. I was kind of heavy. I was a little chunky, right? Not kind of. I was, for me.
Yeah,
And
make that disclaimer for you.
yeah, for me, I was pretty chunky. And so it wasn't until we started Tulsa King season 2, where I said, okay, I gotta end this right now, and I gotta get back to who Michael Beach is. And so I got it back into it, and now I'm like really in a groove, and I mean, I'm doing a bunch of stuff now, and
Yeah.
I'm feeling like the next year is gonna be just this new discovery of me really seeing what I can do with a 60-year-old body, 61-year-old body. Um, and so no, that I felt like I was out of shape for that. And so we had to change a couple of lines, and they wanted me in a tighter shirt. I was like, no, that's too tight. Look at my gut, this and that. So so we put on which is weird, because I'm never in a movie or a series where my body is relevant. Like,
Yeah.
you don't see me with my shirt off or in tank tops or doing action films, because it's actually not a part of my professional life.
Right.
It's way, way, way a part of my personal life that almost never is used in the jobs I'm doing.
Yeah.
So for that to happen, like, oh, you look like you ate a tank or whatever it was, body armor, is one of the very few times when my body is even mentioned or used or whatever. So that's funny. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, maybe the first time, maybe one of the few times in the movie, but I don't know how often you scour the internet. But every other comment, your picture pop up for it. I
Well,
like, yeah,
that's because of my Instagram.
yeah,
There have been a couple of times over the 40 years where I had a shirt off, or I had but it's very, very, very few. However, to be honest with you, I'm thinking, you know what? Throughout my 60s, why not make that a thing now?
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I
Inspiration, my
mean,
guy.
yeah, yeah. And that's part of my thing on my Instagram, because I'm not on social media, just Instagram.
Yeah,
And part of my thing is really to encourage older people to take care of ourselves,
yeah,
and that it's not too late, and that we can do things and we can achieve. And whether or not you've been working out your whole life, or you haven't and you're just starting, it will make a huge difference in your life, and it doesn't take a long time.
yeah,
From being kind of, you know sedentary and unhealthy or whatever, to changing how your body starts to work, that can happen in a matter of a couple of months.
Has
And
Men's Health made the call yet?
I
Men's Health
actually did
magazine?
Men's Health a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
actually, I do remember. Yeah,
a couple of pictures, but again, I don't have a whole bunch of pictures with my shirt off. There's only
yeah,
like a few of them, and most of them
yeah,
are from one particular time. But I've been kind of, taking care of myself most of my life, and
yeah,
I think, like, my brother right now is not in good health, my older brother, and so I'm just trying to get him to walk. And one of the things I really love is that you don't have to become like this big gym guy and do these amazing things. It's the simple things that will improve our health, and
yeah,
to stay away from sugar and stuff like that. So that's kind of my personal thing that I'm really, without trying to tell people what to do,
yeah.
I'm just trying to maybe be an example of it. you
Yeah,
know.
normalizing it, not making it like
Yeah,
part of the brand or not making it like a staple, like I'm this fitness guru. Like, nah, it's
right,
very normal things that you can do to
right.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm not trying to sell anything.
yeah,
I don't work for anybody. I'm not selling like, fitness this or pre-workouts or because I don't do any of that stuff. It's just
yeah,
literally about I tell you what, I know I feel much better and much healthier when my physical being is stronger, right?
yeah.
It helps me mentally, it helps me emotionally, and so I just want to share that idea.
Let me hit you off with one last question, my brother. Now, you've been having an insane last few months here. One with the very highly anticipated release of the film Shelby Oaks, which made its premiere at Fantasia Fest. And then, as you mentioned, September 5th, you're back on Netflix here with The Perfect Couple, and you're playing this character, Dan Carter. What might you be able to say about that character, Dan, and what might you be able to say about your work about with Shelby Oaks?
Well, for Dan Carter, Dan is, there's the whole show is about this very old school, wealthy Nantucket family, right? A white family with big pockets and big power. And there's a wedding that's going to be happening, but then somebody gets hurt. Somebody gets hurt permanently. They get killed. And the question was it is it an accident or is it a murder? My
Mm.
character is the sheriff. So he's basically tasked with finding out if it was, and we find out pretty quickly it was, and then who is the murderer.
Mm.
Um, and so it's pretty cool, man. The actors are very good. The story's great. The director, Susan Baird, is just so good. It was such a fun project to be a part of, So that's that. And then Shelby again was like I'll Be Right There, a very small film, small budget, a new director
Yeah, Chris Tucker.
who who
Mhm.
is also a great reviewer.
Yep.
And I don't know, I don't even know how he got in touch with me. But my man Keith David's in it,
Yeah.
and that's like one of my I look up to Keith big time. Um, we both went to Juilliard. He went, he was done just as I was getting there. But that film, I think, again really smart. Now I haven't
Mm.
seen it, so I don't know what the end result is. But I love the idea of him, bringing in the different kind of film styles,
Okay.
and a stock footage idea. He uses a lot of stock footage in that idea, and so I hear it's really, really interesting. So
Yeah.
I wanna check it out. Yeah.
Same,
Now I
same.
don't know. I don't know. Do you know when it's coming out? I have no idea. I
You,
know it's
I mean, that's kind of the state of the world. And I'm sure even
yeah.
with this one here, you do a premiere at a festival and then fingers crossed that it just lands somewhere for the world to see it. And that's why I'm such a pro advocate for independent films, because this was a film just like Shelby Oates I had heard about last year. And I'm like, I need to see this. My God, Michael's in it. It gotta be good.
Right,
Uh,
right.
So yeah, but once we get word, we put it out there. And just like with this one, I'll Be Right There. It comes to theaters September 6th. Michael, it's always a pleasure. And I know we'll keep talking because you're gonna just continue working. I know you say you're 60, you're looking 45. Don't want to hear anything else. So we'll just leave it at that. But truly, my brother, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
My man, a pleasure. Thanks for the interview. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, anytime.
I do this.